Welcome to HB Reddit Stories. Today we will see stories of r/am I the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for making my sister pay me back for throwing out my daughter's bra? Right now, we're hosting my sister and her family because their home was damaged by Hurricane Helene. There are some rules in place. Be respectful of our living space. Her sons are not allowed in my daughter Thea's room, and as soon as the repairs are done, they are out of here. Her sons broke one of the rules when they went in Thea's room and went through her things. They found one of Thea's special compression bras. Thea has been doing theater ever since she was little. The compression bra looks like a tank top and she uses it if she is playing a boy or a young girl and has to flatten her chest to better look the part. Their mom found it and threw it away. We didn't realize this until Thea was packing her theater bag for play practice and realized it was missing. This is not great because she's starring as Viola in her school's production of Twelfth Night. Thea buys most of her theater stuff like makeup and costumes, and the bra was pretty expensive, $50. I told my sister she needed to pay us back so we can replace it. My sister refuses because she says she isn't doing well financially, and how dare I demand a homeless woman pay for her boys being boys. Not to mention, she doesn't think it's appropriate for her to have something like that. Our mom, who has always been soft on Judy, thinks we're being too harsh since she's a single mom who doesn't have a home right now. I just want my daughter's stuff replaced. Is that too much to ask? Am I the a-hole? Edit, to answer some frequently asked questions. Why won't my mom take them in? She lives in a retirement community that doesn't allow anyone under the age of 65. I'm not sure if temporary stays are okay, but if she let them live with her then she runs the risk of getting evicted. I don't know how much damage was done to the bra itself. Thea's room was pretty trashed. We're talking clothes left on the floor, spilled perfume, and messing with a display shelf full of some of her old Disney dolls. All I know is that Judy saw the boys messing with the bra, thought it was another kind of breast binder, and threw it away. We got locks installed for Thea's room, along with our son and my husband's man cave after we found out the boys messed with his stuff. Why did I let them in? I've hosted other family and friends during previous hurricanes and never ran into this problem. Maybe someone's kids got into Thea's costumes, but no harm no foul. I've always been raised to help others, especially family, in their time of need, but this has me wanting to set up boundaries now. Judy and her kids are going to have to find a new place to stay. I'm just waiting for my hubby to come home from work. We may need one of his friends for backup just in case. Edit 2, I can't believe I forgot this. The boys are 8 and 6. Top comments. Not the a-hole. Cool, your mom has just offered to host your sister and her children. Off they go to Granny's. Opie replies. If only that was the case. Unfortunately for us, she lives in a retirement community and doesn't let anyone under, like 65, living there. Not the a-hole, there are 3 things here. Your nephews went through your daughter's room and possessions. How old are they and why were they in the underwear drawer? They then stole a bra. That is less boys be boys and boys be perverts. Your daughter needs to be safe at home. Your sister found the bra and rather than maybe washing it and putting it back, she made a parenting decision about a child not her own and decided to throw it out because she disapproved. She basically stole from your daughter and took no personal responsibility for that because it was the right thing to do. Does she think your daughter is trans? Or had her boys soiled it beyond repair? Your sister and nephews are trampling over every boundary you set. They invade your daughter's room, take her stuff, complain about your parenting and then pull a sob story. If you are in a bad place and dependent on someone else's charity, then don't abuse their hospitality. You won't get the bra or money back, so please make your daughter's loss good as it was your choice not hers to offer hospitability. But then have a strict talk with your sister about her not parenting your child, maybe parenting her own before they get her kicked up and she is properly homeless. And get your daughter a lock for her door. Opie, time for your mom to host your sister. Instead of her being grateful and upset that her children broke your rule, her attitude is boys will be boys. Her opinion on your daughter's clothes are irrelevant. Being homeless does not mean she has no savings, no job, etc. It was a hurricane, she still has her home and it's being repaired. She was foolish for tossing an item that didn't belong to her. This is 100% on her. Even if her boys did what they did, she was the one who threw it away. She's judgmental, stupid, tossing the bra, and disrespectful of your rules in your home. Your mom gets zero say. I agree with everyone who said time for your sis to leave. Not the a-hole. But I would bet money that you're being lied to, and your sister found it and threw it away because she thought it was a transgender thing. She doesn't want to buy a new one because she finds it morally offensive. Next story. Am I the a-hole for assuming I was invited to my cousin's wedding and making a scene when I found out I wasn't? My 18F cousin's 22F wedding was this weekend. I'll call her Mary. Growing up, we were pretty close, as me and my siblings, 20F and 23M, often went to Mary's house. Lately, we haven't seen each other much, because all of them moved away for college, but it's still nice to see each other at family events. A year and a half ago, she met her now husband. He was invited to Christmas, Easter, and every family event since then. When he was there, I noticed that Mary was a lot more distant than usually and barely talked to me but talked with my siblings all night. I figured it was probably just because of our age difference. A few weeks/months ago, we got an invitation to their wedding in the mail. Or at least my parents did. My name wasn't mentioned on the invitation, which was addressed to our last names, but since I still live with my parents, and my brother and sister both got one, I assumed I was included, and so did my parents. But Mary's face dropped when she saw me. She pretended to smile, but I could see something was bothering her. The wedding went on, but during the cocktail Mary came up to me and asked me why I came, since she didn't send me an invitation. I was taken aback a bit, but told her that we assumed I was included, and asked her why she didn't invite me. She avoided the question, but after insisting a bit she told me that she wanted her husband's family to have a good impression of her family, and didn't want them to know that her cousin was a lesbian, because she wanted to have a normal family. For context, our family is pretty open-minded, and all of them accept me, but her husband and his family are a lot more traditional and conservative. What I don't understand is, I don't look gay, whatever that means, and they would have never known unless someone told them. I was so shocked. I told her that she was sick for caring about impressing a bunch of bigots more than her own cousin. She got mad at me and we both got a bit loud, which attracted attention. People came to find out what was happening. When they found out, my parents said that she was being mean and shouldn't have made a big deal about this. A bunch of other people said that it was wrong of me to come when I wasn't invited. Mary started telling me to leave, so I stormed off. Since, I have been receiving texts from her and her parents saying that I was a bad woman for coming, making a scene, and ruining her big day. I understand that it's her wedding and she can invite whoever she wants, but her words were so hurtful. And I genuinely thought I was invited. But I know it's wrong that I caused such a scene on her wedding day. Maybe I should have just left and not said anything. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. I'm going with not the a-hole, if it was genuinely an innocent mistake about the invite. I mean, you live at home, your parents and siblings were invited, you've never been previously excluded, there was no reason to think that you weren't included even though not specifically mentioned, as you said your siblings don't live at home so they got separate invites. Out of interest, would your parents and siblings etc. still have gone to the wedding if they knew that you had been excluded for being a lesbian? Even about the scene, you did not cause a scene, she was the one that made a scene. She could have just looked past your attendance, since you weren't harming anyone. But instead she insulted you, and you defended yourself. Not the a-hole. A card to the last names would normally include everyone in that family living there. No reason to ask either. I would also have assumed I was invited. Your cousin is an a-hole. Bigots are automatically AHs. There's no looking gay, that's crap. Hell, I look gay, but am straight, and plenty of lesbians aren't the butch gay type bigots envision. I'm sorry to say your cousin is a bigot. She cares more about the bigoted ILs than her own cousin. You were hurt, and logically so. You reacted in a way that could be expected from someone who has been hurt. Sending you hugs. Not the a-hole. If your parents and siblings were all invited, it would be logical to believe you were invited too. Especially as nobody had discussed it with your family. Did your grandparents know that you weren't invited? At least your family can cut them all off knowing what awful people they are. OP replies. Sadly, my grandparents passed away a few years ago, but my aunt and uncle knew I wasn't invited. Next story. Am I the a-hole for making my daughter pay back a $1,000 dress she was supposed to wear in a wedding? I have a daughter, Emma, 16F, who was supposed to be a bridesmaid in her older sister's wedding. My oldest wasn't planning to have Emma in the wedding party. It was Emma who really wanted to be a bridesmaid because she was excited and wanted to be involved. My oldest agreed to include her, even though it meant extra costs and adjustments. The bridesmaid dresses, shoes and fitting were around $1,000 each, which we agreed to pay for since Emma did not have that cash. The wedding is in a month. Emma suddenly changed her mind. She refusing to wear the dress since she thinks it is ugly, saying it is unflattering on her. It is, but didn't speak up at any part. She said she felt uncomfortable, wasn't close to the other bridesmaids, and didn't want to participate anymore. I reminded her that she had been the one pushing to be a part of the wedding, but she was firm and backed out. Now, we're stuck with a $1,000 dress that can't be returned. I told Emma that since she was the one who wanted to be in the wedding and then backed out, she would need to pay us back for the dress, either by working part-time or payment plan using her gift money. Emma is upset and says it's unfair, claiming we're punishing her for not wanting to do something she wasn't comfortable with anymore. Multiple family members think I am too harsh. Edit, I didn't go to my oldest and pressure her to make Emma a bridesmaid. My oldest gave in after Emma pestered her about it. Emma has a phone. I don't even learn about the pestering until after she was added. Top comments. Not the a-hole. A lot of people are in the comments making assumptions or straight up making things up that are the opposite of what OP has stated. The dress is the same for all the bridesmaids and Emma has only ever met the other bridesmaids while supervised, so there hasn't been any bullying. The bride didn't even want Emma as a bridesmaid. This is something that Emma pushed for. The fact is she's 16 and bulldozed her way into a position as a bridesmaid, and now that she's realized the style of dress isn't ideal, she's throwing a tantrum. Frankly, how she feels about the dress doesn't matter. The wedding is about the bride, and the bride picked the same dress for all the bridesmaids and didn't even want Emma there. Emma pushed for this, so she should either suck it up and wear the dress, or she should take responsibility for her decisions and pay back the cost of the dress. Again, this is a 16 years old that bullied her way into being a bridesmaid despite being warned of the cost, and now she's wanting to drop out because the dress isn't ideal. She was perfectly fine spending her parents' money, but now that there's real consequences, she's upset. Edit, for some people replying, please look at OP's edit at the top and OP's replies to other questions. They made it clear they did not pressure the bride, there was no bullying, and that Emma made it clear she dropped out because she didn't like the dress after getting it back from alterations after the fitting. OP replies. Info, did people make comments about the dress looking bad on her? Did you make that comment? Is her dress different than the other bridesmaids? Was it specifically chosen to make her uncomfortable? What is her relationship with her sister? Did you explain to her in advance what being in the wedding party means? The almost universal expectation that bridesmaids' dresses look a bit sh*t. There's so much missing here about how she came to any of these decisions and what you as parents did to explain the choices to her, that we can't honestly say if it's fair or not to make her pay for it. OP replies. No one commented it on it. It is the same dress as the other bridesmaid, it just doesn't work for her body type. Yes, it was explained, her and her sister are not super close. Make her pay or be a bridesmaid. This probably messes up the whole bridal party because the number of groomsmen will be off. Emma is too young and immature to grasp that. I'd have a heart-to-heart and see if you can help her through her insecurities. But also explain the ripple effect of her choices and that she will be made to feel it. Her behavior is on par with her stage of development, but this is where she really needs to start experiencing the impact of her choices. Saying you are uncomfortable doesn't change the fact that she pushed her way into the bridal party and is now backing out, and that a dress was purchased for her for $1,000. She can decide if it's more uncomfortable to wear a bridesmaid's dress or to pay you back. Not the a-hole. Next story. Would I be the a-hole if I withdrew my daughter from sports against my wife's wishes? My daughter, 15F, is a competitive gymnast. Her team travels all over the country to compete. She is a sophomore in high school and wants to stop competing because her body hurts, She is at the gym 14 hours a week, she lacks the drive and passion for the sport, and she wants to do more high school things and concentrate on her studies. She is an honor roll student and takes AP classes in sophomore year. My wife, 43F, is against it because my daughter's season just started and she made a commitment to the team and she should see it through. We also spent $1,800 this summer on camps and sessions to help her get better. She thinks my daughter will become lazy and want to hang out with friends, and her chores and school work will suffer. I, 43M, understand my wife's point about the commitment to the team and the money. I also understand my daughter's point about being sore, as I used to be weightlifter and wanting to be more active in high school. I am trying to find middle ground, but I don't think it exists. My gut is to protect my daughter and withdraw her, but I know it will put me in the doghouse big time. I feel stuck between a rock and hard place. Top comments. Not the a-hole. Also, listen to your daughter. Her reasons for wanting to stop the sport are valid. Forget about the money, that's gone. And about her behavior, I'm kind of shocked that your wife doesn't believe in her own daughter. Really, an honor roll AP student isn't going to change overnight. It sounds like your wife is one of those dance moms, only for gymnastics. Just reread. Logically, at the start of the season is the second best time to pull out of the team, the best time would be at the end of the previous one. Also, your wife says daughter made a commitment to the team. So she cares more about the team than her own daughter? Wow. Not the a-hole. The $1,800 is gone, no matter what. It's not coming back. So you can be out $1,800 and have a miserable, resentful child, or you can be out $1,800 and have a happy, balanced child. As for the commitment to the team, it happens. Yes, it's important to honor your obligations, but it's also important to learn that you don't have to sacrifice yourself for others. If your daughter is no longer on this team, are we talking about girls that won't be able to make it to the Olympics because of it? Most likely not. No one is irreplaceable, and someone will take her place. Maybe consider giving her a thinking about it period. Tell her to remain on the team for X amount of time, and then if she's firm in her desire to want to quit, she can. Not the a-hole. Her body hurts. At 16. Let me repeat, louder, for your wife, your child's 16-year-old body is hurting. Do you, as a parent, willingly accept your child's hurts when they're due to something not needed nor wanted? That's reason enough to justify retiring. I'm sorry. I know it comes hand in hand with competitive sports, but it's her body and her peace of mind. Both need to last for at least 60 more years. Let her be a normal teenager for once in her life. Next story. Am I the a-hole for letting my ex and my kids' half-siblings be poor when I could help? I have an ex with whom I share 2 kids, 13M and 12M. Our relationship did not work out and we broke up 7 years ago. Since I was the financially stable one, she wanted me to have full custody. I have had full custody ever since. She has visitation, but she only uses it intermittently. Quickly after the breakup, she started dating a guy with money. He is from overseas. She quickly got pregnant by the guy and they had a son. The guy did not want to raise someone else's kids, so she moved 3 hours away and completely stopped seeing our kids for almost 2 years. It turns out the guy's money was actually family money, and when his conservative family found out about my ex and the baby, they cut them off. Also, their son had some developmental issues. She got pregnant again, and a few months later, her boyfriend left and returned to his home country. She is now 6-ish months pregnant with no job and taking care of a special needs kid. She called me last week and asked me for financial help. They are living out of a motel and she is running out of money. I have a lake house about 30 minutes from her. She asked if she could stay there. I said no. She asked if I would send her money. I said no. She called me an a-hole. She said that I am letting my family suffer unnecessarily when I have the means to help. I told I have no obligation to help. We have been arguing ever since. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole. You have responsibilities to your kids, as did she, but she doesn't have custody, so let's say that's not part of this particular question. You do not have responsibility to your ex or any other kids she has. She can call you anything she wants. She's your ex. You can facilitate visitation, or anything else that's for the benefit of your two children, but it's more than reasonable to say no to anything else. She needs to chase the other kid's father, or other family, down for their support, if she can. Not the a-hole. You have two kids with an absent mother to raise. Don't let her guilt you. Helping in this case will lead to dependence. She'll not leave your home and expect you to support her. You should not become a financial crutch for an ex that makes really bad decisions. Having one-half siblings doesn't make you, specifically, your finances family. If her kids are suffering, it is because of her poor decisions, not yours. Calling you for money and not for the kids she basically abandoned should say all you need to know. Not the a-hole. You have no obligations to her. Make sure you've got cameras at the lake house or neighbors who can tell you if she trespasses, because unless you can stop her, she could and probably will just show up at the lake house and stay there without your permission. OP replies. House has cameras and is in a gated community with 24/7 security. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel HB Reddit Stories.